This Friday, Capital Games pushed the final update to Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle-earth. The update announced that the game would be sunset on May 24th. I tried to film this video a few times on Friday, but I was honestly shocked and I could not find the words for what I wanted to say to you, the community. In the end, most of what I'd like to say has already been said by other content creators, but I did write a few things down that I feel are important to acknowledge, and I hope you'll bear with me as I read most of these remarks. First, I'm thankful and humbled by the support of each and every one of you in the community. I've enjoyed making content for this game and hanging out with all of you. I had a lot of plans for my Lord of the Rings channel, and there were several team guides and collaborations with other content creators that were in the works. It's a shame that you'll not get to see any of that content. Second, I am deeply disappointed with Electronic Arts and Capital Games. I want to say briefly that I can understand why they are sunsetting the game. It just didn't make enough money. And time after time, this happens with EA and other large publishers, where if a product isn't setting records with profits, they couldn't care any less about the community. In their sunset message, they say, "We are thankful to you, the players. Your tireless optimism, feedback, and love has helped us make this game into what it became and improved us as developers." While I do know that the development team worked really hard and made some amazing character kits for this game, the way this message reads feels a little bit disingenuous. I work in the corporate world as an attorney, so I know how these things work. I realized there were probably NDAs preventing the dev team from reaching out to us. I also assume that people at Capital Games have lost their jobs over this. I bet there were a lot of people who felt awful that they couldn't explain to us what was going on. But it just feels even worse now that we know the game is being sunset, because if you follow the paper trail, you can see that the higher up executives most likely knew this was going to happen before they even released Thorin. And I think that's evident because of things like the fact that the journey ahead pretty much had no content in it. It spoke about things that had already been discussed. They told us about multi-squad that was supposed to be coming, and there was zero information about multi-squad in the journey ahead. Third, there are a lot of people out there saying that there weren't enough content creators and players being critical of CG, and that somehow contributed to the game's failure. Frankly, I think that's an unfair criticism. As most of you know, I do try to keep a positive mindset on my channel, so most of my videos focused on raid runs and team discussions or guides and were generally upbeat. Unfortunately, I only started making content in late November, so by the time my channel got going, the game was already on the chopping block. So I don't think my criticisms would have mattered anyway. But I think there were actually a lot of content creators who were willing to call out CG on the things they needed to fix. I don't think I saw too many people who were happy with things like the challenge store, raid balancing, or the lack of multi-squad and other game modes. Most of us were just trying to make content on what was available. Perhaps with more time, we'd have had an opportunity to do more of those roundtable events like they did for the Glyph release. I certainly would not have been afraid to call out some of the things that they could have done better, but I would have done that constructively. The last point I want to make is on negativity from the player base during the silence. Hema had to take a lot of heat from the community over the last few months, and she was one of the lone bright spots from the public-facing side of Capital Games. I'm not going to go into a protracted rant here, but I just want to say that as much as I'm disappointed in EA, I am ashamed of the people who are trying to go after Heme over something that was completely out of her control. If you want to be angry at the EA and CG executives. Don't go after the community managers, developers, and bug fixers. They did their job. They had nothing to do with this decision. To wrap things up, I'm proud of what I've accomplished with this channel and with my roster. I had a lot of fun. It's clear from the kit design that there were a lot of amazing developers on the team. I wish everyone who worked on the game the best of luck, and I wish all of you guys the best of luck, and I hope we can find something else to play as a community in the coming months. As far as what I'm planning for the future, I really don't know yet. I need some time to think. There are a few games I want to play and a few games that I want to make content for. What I can tell you is that assuming I can find a game I enjoy, I'll be keeping this channel alive. I'm already working on some branding updates and I've updated my Discord server, so be sure to click on the link below to join the Discord and stay tuned. Quantum out.